Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So in our channel I have already posted a video of a technical interview for the cook skill assessment where I played a video for 25 minutes or something, and I explained all the topics of the questions that asked in the cook's technical interview in the skill assessment, whether you do in the Vetasis or William English. So it was helpful for most of the people because most of the people commented me that it was really helpful for them in the exams, and some of them were commented that they thanked me that it got an idea to attend their interview in the real technical interview assessment. And most of them thank me that what are all the things I teach them, the same things have been asked there as well. So I am really happy for you guys that at least some of my videos helped you guys in the technical interview. And also most of the people that comment me and personally message me in the Facebook Messenger telling me that can you please make a video of skill assessment for the chef. And also someone messaged me, can you please make a video of skill assessment for the pastry, please, like that. I'm sorry, I'm not a pastry chef, but I know how to do all these things. I am collecting materials for the pastry, but soon I will make a video of skill assessment for the pastry chef technical interview. Now in this video I am going to talk about the skill assessment for technical interview for the chef skill assessment. Either you're doing from Vetasis or William English, the topics are same. Most of the topics have been already covered in the cook's technical interview. So those who have seen that most of the questions, same thing will be asked to the chef's assessment as well. Only 4 or 5 topics will be a little bit more than the cook's technical interview and a little bit more detail in management level. So let's go by one point what are all the questions they asked in the chef technical interview. So they may ask that the first thing is that manage diversity in the workplace. It is one of the best topic because as a management chef like a sous chef or head chef or any other chefs above than the chef de partie, the people who working under you maybe have worked with different nationality peoples. Like there you may be worked with the Sri Lankans or Indians, or you maybe work with Nepalese, Bangladeshis, or you maybe work someone from Brazil, or you maybe work someone from the Mexico, like different cultural nationality people. Each and everybody have their own culture, own style of working, and own things. So how we going to match together, and together we communicate, and together we work as a team. How you managing that in that different cultures, races, and religions and generations. Those kind of questions they will ask that how do you ever worked with any other people with different nationalities, how many people who worked under, how is the experience for you when you're working with them. They will ask and they will check how your experience with them. So that is very simple. So another one they are using is implement and monitor environmentally sustainable work practices. Environmentally sustainable work practices I have already explained in detail in my previous video because it is a very big chapter. So how we have to follow the environmental sustainable work practices I have told in detail, but how we managing all those work practices, that they will ask. So the logs we maintaining for them, the things what we doing in them, so how we managing them, how we allotting that work for the people to follow those procedures. So these kind of things they will ask you. And another topic they will ask is the food preparation equipment. So if you are a cook, you have to know all the equipments, like small equipments or big equipments in the kitchen. But if you are a chef, you have to know in detail about all the equipments which we have in the kitchens, like from the small equipments like a knife to big equipment like the oven. We have to know each and everything, the details, how we have to use. If something happen, how we have to fix, at least not like in a maintenance manner, how we are fixing the things, and how we are using that large equipments in a different manner. So what are all the basic equipments we have, and we have to know about all the equipments, their usage and the procedure to use that, and how we are teaching the other people to use these equipments. Also it's very important, they can ask that in the questions about the food preparation equipments. Then the another question they can ask is what are all the basic methods of cooking you use. As I mentioned in my previous video, there are 14 different methods of cooking. Same thing like boiling, broiling, and simmering, sauteing, frying, deep frying, shallow frying, all these kinds of 14 cooking methods. We have seen this in the cook's chef technical interview as well. So same thing they will ask here for the chef also. And they will ask you what are all the appetizers and salads you can prepare. You can either say the appetizers and salad you use in your workplace presently, or you can also say that the appetizer salads you used in your previous workplace, or you don't know, you can what are all the appetizers and salads which you like and which you are very confident in making and telling the recipes, you can explain them. So it should be like one hot appetizers and one international salad. Salad should be not very simple. At least you have to tell one international salads to them if you are not explaining them about your workplace menu. Then they will ask how to prepare the stocks, sauces and soups. So if you worked in a very high volume kitchen, they are not doing the stocks by the powder or something. They are just using the bones of the beef and the bones of the lamb or bones of the chicken. They roast it in a high temperature, then they make stocks, brown stocks, then they make a gravy, or they use some other methods to make the stocks like vegetable stocks or fish stocks or cod boil or any other stocks. So what are all the stocks you are making there, and also from the stocks what are all the sauces that you working in your that you use in your workplace. So most of the questions they will ask only that what you do in your workplace. So you have to always know the things what you are doing in the workplace. I am sure that if you are done a head chef party or sous chef in your workplace, so you should be very aware of all the things that happened in your kitchen. So you are good to explain that sauces and stocks and also the soups. Maybe one or two soups only somebody use in their restaurants. So what are the soups you prepare and then you have to use. If they ask you that do you know anything more about the soups, so then you have to go through that soups like pasta soup and pasta soups, that thick and thin, and all these kinds of cream soups, consomme, these kind of soups. You have to just be ready or just to know about those things and get ready with just one example like one consomme or one cream soup or one chowder or any thin or thick any pasta or unpasta soups. You should just know just one example of each, because being a chef we have to know little bit detail about these kind of stuffs. So you have to know about some of the things in little detail, at least to know one soup, one consomme, one chowder, one cream soup, and one any fish based soup or any cold soup like that. You have to just know only one recipes for that one. So we have to know about the stock, sauces and soups. Then they will ask what are all the vegetables you prepare, fruits you prepare, eggs prepare. Then you have to just by what are you doing in your workplace about the vegetables, what are the vegetable dish you make, what are the egg dish you make, what are all the farinaceous dish you make. Farinaceous dish means this gratin potatoes and stuffs. How you have to make that one, you have to know that. At least know at least one farinaceous dishes, because that will be really very useful for you. And you also have to know about the pastas. What are all the pastas we are using in our restaurant, because in our restaurants or hotels at least we use one pasta if you are working in the Western cuisine. And also some of the farinaceous dishes like polenta as well, you have to just know about that, and you have to know just one example and the recipe how to make it. Just we have to learn that one. And poultry dishes, same thing what we discussed in the cook skill assessment technical interview. One poultry dish. So if they ask you about the cuts of poultry dish, you have to explain them, and also you just explain the one poultry dish that you using in your kitchen, or you used in your previous workplace, any poultry dish. And when you explaining the poultry dish, they can also ask that what are all the accompaniments you can giving with the poultry dish, which is like always the main course goes with one starch and two accompaniments. So you have to be ready with one starch and two accompaniments and the gravy or the side orders. And also some people liking other poultry dishes like the duck, turkey, or pigeon, quail, anything they are using in your restaurant, then you have to know about that. Or if you don't know, you can just explain the poultry dish as a chicken that you are using in your workplace. That should be fine, or at least turkey, that should be fine. Most of them they are using for the roasted turkey for the Christmas function and all. You can talk about that as well, that's fine. And how about the seafood dishes? Same thing like the cook one, but this should be in little bit more detail, that they can also ask what are all the fish that you handle, what are all the kinds of fish that you handle, what you know about the fish. They will show us, they will what are the ranges of fish that you have, like the shellfish and crustaceans and mollusks, those kinds of stuffs. They will ask each and everything. If you know, you have to just know about one example of each category. Some of them ask for the flatfish, then they can ask for any example of round fish. So what kind of fish you using in your kitchen? Is that fish is a flatfish or round fish? Is there any crustaceans or mollusks you use in your kitchen? They can ask like that. So you have to be ready with those things, that what you doing in your kitchen. And also if you are not doing in that kitchen, at least you should know what is crustaceans, what is mollusks, and what is the shellfish that we are using in the basic Western cuisines. At least one example, that should be fine. And also meat dishes. The meat dishes, same thing like the beef or any games, or lamb or any pork, any kinds of meat. So what are all the meats you use in your kitchen? Like in our kitchen we used to use lamb as a lamb rack. We have beef we are using, because we are using a wide range of steaks. For as being a chef, it is very important that you should know the cuts of beef, cuts of lamb, and cuts of pork, and also some other cuts of meats as well, because they ask a question, because can you name some cuts of beef like that? Then you should know at least that sirloin cut, tenderloin, shank, and like any other cuts of beef. What you know, you have to know at least a few things that you can explain to them. And also in the same time they will ask you that what you using in your workplace, what kinds of cuts of beefs that you are using in the workplace, what kind of cuts of meat you using. If they ask me, I will tell them that we are using rump, and we are using the strip loin, and we are using the cube roll, and which is rib fillet, and so and so things I am using in our kitchen. I can explain to them like that. And also if they ask what are all the lamb cuts you using in your kitchen, so I can tell them that I'm using the lamb. That is my previous plate. I also use the lamb cuts, and also but if they ask any tell me good dish that you make in your kitchen, the meat dish like a beef or chicken, then you can beef or so another thing is put to the meat special dietary requirement. So as a chef, we have to know very well knowledge of dietary requirements, and So those kinds of dietary supplements you should know. What are the dietary supplements? Do you have any special dietary hotels or restaurants? Then if you have, you tell them either in the current market or the previous market. If you don't have, then if someone is coming and asking you the gluten-free food, what kind of food you recommend from your menu, so you should know that one, that what kind of gluten-free food you can give, what kind of lactose-free food you can give, and is your meat in your hotels is halal or not. Those kinds of stuff you have to know about there. And next, same thing like them, you should know how to make a cake. They know that you are not a pastry chef or bakery chef, because pastry and bakery are the special department and their things are in very detailed, but they expect that you should know at least the basic knowledge about the pastries and bakeries, like either you know how to make the cakes, any cake like a black forest cake or white forest cake, any sponge cake, at least you know the recipe of that for making 1 kilo of cake, and what you can make it easily. And also you have to know some pastries like a choux pastry or a filo or a strudel pastry or any short pastry or any danishes and croissants that we use in the breakfast. And also you should know the basic breads such as any bread rolls or any brioche burger or any baguettes or any breakfast breads there we use in our hotels or restaurants. Even though you don't know most of the things, at least you should know this basic this breads recipes to go through it, at least to know if they ask you, to produce a cake, yeah, I can make the white forest cake, then know about the white forest recipe. And if you know about the pastry, say I can make some puff pastry, or I can make some croissants. I can make croissants at the puff pastry. If you make puff pastry, from that puff pastry you can make various things. So at least you should know the recipe how to make the puff pastry. When you know how to do the puff pastry, from that you can do various pastry dishes. So if you tell the puff pastry recipe, then you will be fine for them. And also some basic bread recipes. You don't need to go in elaborate, just know about the basic bread recipes. Then how you work effectively as a cook. Even though you know to some of the people, they come finish the course and they directly come as chefs. It happened in many places. Even though they are a chef, they don't know the various things inside the kitchen. Like when I was working in the cruise lines, most of the chefs, they come just as a sous chef or chef de cuisine. So most of them, they don't know how to do the steaks. Most of them, they don't know the various dishes inside. Most of them, if they ask you how to do the stocks, soups and all, they don't know, but they become a chef in the management category. From there they used to keep on learning that. So how effectively you worked as a cook? So how was your career started from? Like you directly started from the chef de partie, or you started from the scratch like commis and chef? So they will check those things. Then by telling your details only, they come to know that okay, he worked from there to here, so he know some things from here to there. And plan and cost basic menus. Anyways, when you doing the chef skill assessment, they will tell you to make any 5-course menu or any 7-course menu. It depends on the assessors you have. So you have, when you submitting all your documents, you have to plan them a 5-course menu. So when you planning them a 5-course menu, each and every menu, the dishes that you are using, each and every dishes, the ingredients. So you will mention the price of the cost and the total price of the cost, and how much your money you are spending. In that money, how much yield you are getting, this kind of stuff. And from that yield, how much you can, so how much profit you can make in that yield, and how much you are wasting that one. So this kind of like it when you doing this exam, because anyway you have to do the 5-course menu. So make easily the 5-course menu, like 1 bread and 1 pasta, 1 main course dish, 1 starter and 2 and 1 pastry and desserts. So when you make it that total things, how much yield you are getting, selling for that one, and from that how much wastage you are using and what is the profit. This kind of things it has to be in detail according to your business needs. So by explaining these things, it helps us to know about basic cost. They will not ask you anything very detailed, but they will ask you just the basic one. They will not ask you what you want, but they will just tell you the basic things from your own. So they will tell you to make a menu for the special dietary equipment. So at least you should know that what are all the things you can make for the dietary people, like how you can prepare food for the maintenance for the vegan people, the lactose intolerant, how you can make and what they can do for the halal people. Like that, we should know about the menus which we should be knowing to develop the menus for the dietary people, or just in common. It depends upon their health, lifestyle and culture. So the dietary requirements is depends on some of them having the dietary requirements for their life, and some of them having the dietary requirements for their lifestyle, and some of them is for the cultures and their religion. So we have to make or develop the menu depends on their culture. When you tell them that the dietary requirements is like their culture, their lifestyle, and some of them are intolerant, then they come to know that you know something about them, and they will ask, okay, how you create a menu for a halal guy, or how you create a menu for a keto food, what is keto food, or how you create a menu for someone is intolerant for a lactose, like that. And we should know about that one in detail. Then coordinate the cooking operations. So how is your coordinations within your kitchen, like how to plan that production of food, like you have a menu, you are following the same menu every day, means also for your menu what you are using in a restaurant, we need a production to be done. So what are all the production we have to done in the kitchen with our people, and what are all the production we have to do, and who want to do which production, by allotting the people. Okay, today you have to cut and finish this chicken by crumbing all the things, and you have to cut all these steaks and you have to arrange it like this, and you cut these things and you have to put in a FIFO order, just first in first out, like this. Put the old one on the front and put the new one in the back. And what are all the other things, like what are all the things available with us and what is not available, we have to explain why it is not available to the restaurant manager, and we should notify them that when it is available again, like that. All these kinds of managing things inside the cooking operations also they will ask. So for example, if when I was a sous chef, if I am not there, I come in the morning, and when I come in the morning, then I see that how many reservations we have today, and then I will go inside and check the productions for the fryer, ladder and the kitchen. So if I find that okay, the ladder needs this preparation to be done, this ladder need the grill guy need this prep to be done, what we used to do is every day night when we go home, we used to write it down that what are all things or preps need to be done for tomorrow. So the next day when we coming in the morning, we see the prep notice and we start to prep. And there are some apprentice as well as the trainees working in our kitchen, so we give them some small job, where we will allot the jobs to the people who can do easily, and we give some other jobs for the people doing service as well as the other things in the kitchen. And if anything is missing and we need to do order, then everybody, they will write down in the side that what all things need to be ordered. So this is how we manage the kitchen. If somebody failed to do so, we explain them how to do it in the same way. That is called coordinating the cooking operations inside the kitchen. And same thing, the dessert producing. What are the desserts that you give in your place, like a hot desserts or a cold desserts or frozen desserts that you use in your workplace? If you are not using any desserts in your workplace, at least you should know at least one recipe of the hot dessert, one recipe of the cold dessert, and one recipe of the frozen dessert. And managing the conflict inside, if you cook something for the customer and the customer don't like, they so most of the time cooking they make mistakes. Some people when they order how you it's your mistake, how you handling the situation inside that. And, how is the communications level in that with the restaurant manager, because you cannot go and directly deal with the customers, so you have to coordinate with the restaurant manager and know the customers problems and how you are resolving inside the kitchen by communicating with the restaurant manager to make the guest happy. That is one kind of conflict, that how you managing inside the kitchen operations. And manage the finances within a budget. So every hotels they have a different budget. Every hotel they have a different percentage. So what is the percentage of your kitchen, and per week how much your company is giving, and they give you $500 for a week. So in that $500 how many things you are buying. Doesn't matter if it is up or down. You communicating with your manager, how you ordering the things and selling the things and running the operations within the budget. And if it is goes about the budget, why it is going about the budget, that you explaining in the meeting with the management team. Either you do any big functions or the productions is higher than the normal operations. So this kind of things is called maintaining the finance within a budget. So this has to be always a control of chef, because chef is the one ordering all the stuff inside the kitchen and kitchen operations. So how he is coming inside the budget or going above the budget, and what were the things they are discussing in the meeting. If the big function is coming which is not normal and this budget is not enough, then how you are explaining to your managers about this one and getting for the purpose you use. So how you are maintaining that or managing the finances within a budget. So when I was working in a cruise ship, getting $10,000 to order. So one day I will order like $6,000. One day I will order like $7,000. And in the third day I will order like $6,000. So if it is for $10,000, sorry, it's a mistake. If I get $10,000, so one day I am ordering for like $2,000, and one day I am ordering for $1,000, and another day I am ordering for again $2,000. So still I have $5,000 more. So we have till 4 more days to go. So if the budget is very less, then what are the things we have already there? All this within a budget. The same thing as I mentioned there, if the budget is going above, then you have to go on expense with the chef. Okay, the lobster is a bit expensive. This time we use with extra lobster than the normal, than the last week. That is why our budget is going up. Like that, if you explain and get approval for the budget which is going high, or else we have to be always within a budget. And then coach others in the job skills. Like being a sous chef or a head chef, you have to always teach the things inside the kitchen. Someone is new, they have to know all the kitchen operations, all the stuff and all. Who are already working in this kitchen for a long time also, still they have lots of things to learn. If anything going wrong, we have to teach them in the right way, not only in the working environment and also the paperwork such as the everything. We have to teach them and other skills and lead and manage the people. How you are leading the operation. So when the operation is going on, being a leader, how you managing the people. So how is the operation going on, how many people working on you, how you managing them, are they following you, how your team will be communicating each other when they are in the service under your leadership. They will ask all these kinds of things. Then how is the maintaining the quality of the perishable items. So how you maintain the quality of the perishable items, and each and every perishable items having the expiry date. The perishable item expiry date will be very less. So how we are storing it. If the perishable item is storing inside for a long time, it can get spoiled. So if some things are we are not using it, then what we have to make a special menu and sell that one. And some perishable items, if we order more, we have to put in a special menu, or we have to order a bit less for the next time. So in that way, so all these perishable items has to be noted, because non-perishable items doesn't matter, they can be in the stores, dry stores for a long time, but perishable items having only few lives, in few days it will get spoiled. So we have to be very careful about ordering and storing the that day the prep was not done, then everybody will be trouble in the service time. That is why you have to always check the connections in the kitchens. Everything has to be up to date. If anything is missing, immediately we have to follow something, and we have to follow the actions, and we have to buy it and maintain that par level of the ingredients. And if anyone is a little bit not doing well, we have to shuffle the guys, and we have to train them a bit, and we have to monitor the operations. Everybody's skill has to be up to date. If someone is not performing their task properly, then we have to give them a training, and we have to teach them nicely, and also we have to communicate with them and know about how to do all these things, how we are communicating properly with them, and how we are running the operations without any problems. If they have any problems, you have to listen to the query and have to fulfill them. Next thing is so what are all the work health and safety practices that you what are the safety properly, because most of them to be like any circular coming for you guys in the kitchen, or any new notices coming in the kitchen, like for us we are giving chicken wings in our kitchen as a complimentary. So suddenly they change the amount of chickens that we are using for the complimentary wings as well as for the paid wings. So they just write in a word document, and they used to send the email to everyone, and also they posted in the function seat kitchen. And also there is a function pads. So what are all the functions we have in this week, and what are one CC if you are HF or a sous chef, or any management inside your organization want to send you some message professionally, they will send those things. Like I said, the chicken wings earlier, so when they want to do this chicken wings changes in our kitchen, they used to go from the top management to the lower level management through email only. And also if they want to increase your contract, or if they want to ask you guys for any fire drill of the hotel, they want to call you everyone in common, so they used to communicate either in the phone number, and what kind of technology you used to communicate with your management, they will ask you like that. And also identifying the hazards and the control safety risks. So same thing what I explained earlier, the same thing they will ask in a different manner. And the roastering the staff, we know how to roaster the staff. So if Saturday Sunday is very busy, so that day we cannot give anyone off, so that day everybody should be present in the kitchen. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if somebody is we are not that much busy, so we give off for one or more people, so that 2 or 3 people can manage the kitchen. Like that company we have to team. So how we are roastering, that also really important. And receiving and storing, when we ordering the stuff, we check the stuffs, what are the things we need to order. We have to order and get approved by the management, or get approved by yourself as a head chef. And we are ordering either it's a poultry, or the dry goods, or vegetables or fruits. So then once it comes, then how we are receiving. When we receiving it, we have to check the order sheet. So what are the things we order, the same quantity we are receiving, or something is missing from the orders. If it is missing, then we have to communicate with we always go behind by following the first in first out style, how we are storing inside. All these kinds of questions will be asked. And also purchasing, how we are purchasing the goods, like you for example, we are purchasing the breads, chickens and the dairies through the phone. So we call the sellers and we call them and we just tell them that we need this, this, then this, and they will just write it down, or we just send a message to them and they will confirm us that order received, like that. And some of the things like what are the things you are using while purchasing goods. Meats, and one is giving $2 less and one is giving $2 more. Then okay, then we switch the meat this time to this guy, depending on the quality, that how the quality of the meat is supposed to be, like that, switching the things to save some money, and also in the same way checking the quality of the meat and by purchasing. So those kinds of stuff they will ask in purchasing the goods. And controlling the stock, how we are controlling the stock or maintaining the stock. And when we are buying the stock should not be more, and if we have more stock already, we have to cut down some of the stocks. And also we have to use these ingredients in some other places. We come to know that what are the things we are using more. And also we can compare stock take every year, and also some of them they do stock take every year. So these are the major topics most of the things everybody knows. This is not the thing that they will ask in the interview. This is just example or an idea. If you hear this idea, okay, maybe they will ask a question from this kind of stuff, and it will be like this. We can just analyze it. Don't ever think that by seeing this video we will go and pass, because in the same criteria they can ask you the questions in a different angle. So if you see this video and if you understand this video properly, at least you can answer most of the questions in the interview, and you will confident that you will be good. So please tell me the suggestion about this video, that how I explained the topics in detail for the chef skill assessment. And